Last week we made some painted paper using texture rubbing and crayon resist painting. Today we're going to use these painted papers to make a weaving. A weaving is when you go under and over to make a sheet of something. That is actually how cloth is made. But we're going to be doing it with paper, and I will show you how. So other than the two painted papers, you're going to need another sheet of paper. It can be color or white paper. You're going to fold this in half. And then take your scissors and cut straight or wavy lines. Do not cut zigzags because that's going to make the next process hard. If you want to be exact, you can also take a ruler and see if you can make each strip the same size. I like to kind of have it different. I think it makes it more interesting. So we're gonna cut, but don't cut all the way. You're going to have about an inch left from the edge of the paper so that's not coming apart. I think I'm gonna mix it up, do some straight ones, one that's really thin, and one thicker one. Maybe I'll do some more wavy lines now. And when you have gone all the way, you're gonna open it up. And it'll look like this. So you have a bunch of slits, but the top and bottom will be connected. And we're going to be using this as our loom. So now you're going to cut these painted papers out. If you cut your paper using the paper the portrait way like I did, then you want to make sure that you cut your strips using the portrait way sideways as well. If you cut it this way, then it's going to be too long for this loop. So make sure that the width of both of them match. So again, you can be exact and draw on the back with rulers to space them out evenly, or you can just freeform cut. Again, I like it freeform because it makes it more interesting. So I cut apart my first painted paper, and now for your second painted paper, flip it over and use a pencil to draw many different shapes on here. Make sure the shapes are kind of big. If you make it teeny tiny, the next part's not gonna work. So maybe I'll do an organic shape. That's kind of just a blob shape. Maybe I'll do a square. So I've filled up the back with big shapes. Now we're going to cut these out as well. Okay, so now I have a bunch of strips and some shapes. So now here's the basic of weaving. You're going to take one of the strips and you're going to go over one of those pieces and then go under, go over, under, over, under, over, under, and over until you get all the way to the edge. Just gonna keep going over, under, over. If you see the two same colors, let me do an example of one where it's not quite right. So if you look here, there's two blues, blue, blue, and then black. That's not correct. It needs to be black, blue, black, blue, black, blue, black, blue, black. And here it's black, black, black. That is not correct. Here, there's only one blue, so that is correct. Here, it's black, 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 so that is not correct. So you have to make sure that it's a pattern. Black, blue, black, blue, black, blue, black, blue, black. Now for the next one, we're going to start opposite from the first one. So for this one, I'm showing black. So here, I need to show blue. So in order to show blue, you're going to go under. And then over, so this is blue, so this is gonna be black. Under, over, under, over, under, over, and under. And you have to make sure you press it up all the way so that it touches the first row. Now I'm starting to get a checkerboard pattern, but because I use some wavy lines and some skinny and some thick, it's going to be uneven, which I think is a cool part of the design. Now let's see what happens if you use shapes for that. So here it's blue, so I need to have my painted color. So now instead of black I have orange. So here's blue, so I'm gonna go orange, and then now I need to go under, over, under, over, and it stops there. So now let's take another strip and see what happens if we go over that shape. So even though we already went here, we're gonna do it again. So this one is the painted paper side, so you're gonna go right on top, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, and over. So now we have 2 layers of color, which makes it more interesting. So now I'm gonna move on to the next one. Here we have over. So next we have to go under. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, and under, and push it up. And then let's see if I can do another shape on top of our strips now. So we went under, over, and under. And then what if I did another shape over here? This time this is under, so you can go over. Oh, but this isn't gonna fit. If that happens, then you just have to cut it. So there's really no rule with this project other than you have to keep going over and under. You can layer your shapes and your strips however way you want. You can cut down your strips or shapes, but we're gonna keep making sure that we follow that same pattern. So we have over, under, over, and this is too long and it's not gonna fit, so I can just cut. Maybe I'll trim this down. And you do not have to use up all of your strips. So when you're finished, it should look like the whole board has a pattern. Over, under, 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 all the way to the bottom. And once you're finished with your design, you're going to take a little bit of glue and just glue on the edges. You don't have to glue the whole thing. As long as you glue down the edges, it'll stay. Once you're done gluing, flip it over and do the same for the back edges. Now these won't fall off. So here is our finished painted paper weaving project. If using the shapes and the strips make you too confused, you can just do strips. But using shapes and the strips make it really interesting. So if you're able to, I would like you to try it out. When you're finished, please make a picture of your finished weaving and put it on our Sonia or canvas.